When you're on the underground, the metro, people is really like in a hurry.
Just moving from one place to another, like
they're all walking like robots.
You can feel their energy, like actually no energy.
If you go by U-Bahn, you get the wards here and the wards there.
It's something different. It's another city under the ground. It's absolutely another place with another atmosphere, another rules, and everything is going, running over there. It's like you get into another life.
It's music, being bound on you, crossing lights, traffic lights. It's a kind of dynamical stream of life.
That's my position.
The camera's not there. Nice. I look at you.
I use the metro for reading. I take always a book, and it's the time when I can do nothing else and I read all my books.
I remember then I opened a book of some writer very famous in St. Petersburg, and I met him in front of me, you know, for example. I said, okay, right, his book, he is here, okay, it's good.
I prefer to read a book, and a lot of people do the same. In St. Petersburg metro, reading, you can see a lot of people who read book.
If I don't have a book, I go berserk on metro.
Usually I read.
And I do also. If I don't have some book with me, I read a book which my neighbor reads.
I like also to pay attention to what people are reading. I like reading a lot, so sometimes I take some titles or authors and then go home and look for them.
One kid who was reading a sociology book by a German writer called Max Weber, and I read it many years ago and I really enjoyed it. And he was like, I don't know, 18 years old or something.
I generally read a newspaper or some English novel.
When the travel is long, I can read, I can sleep. But mostly I read that type of, comics.
And I'm opening my book and starting to read and see nothing around, just waiting for my stop.
You cannot calculate your time, You forget about everything. You're just reading and don't miss your station,
A few times, like I have missed the stop.
In the bus, I feel very silent and my heart feels very calm. So I prefer to look into the scenery and thinking some things about my life.
I take a moment for myself, I close my eyes and make my mind in blank.
Like that is my personal time in life.
Metro gives a good opportunity to come down, even if people can't imagine. After work, it's like having this long ride to home, just being in a moment of doing nothing.
It's lovely boring.
It's a really good time for me to think about something usually I don't think about. When I sit on the bus, especially a long time for like an hour bus, I can sit there, put on the headphone and think about something like, it's just suddenly something old or some beautiful memory just appear in my mind. I think about it and sometimes I even smile to myself. Yeah, I like bus really much.
When I look at in the outside of window bus, sometimes some memory of childhood come back.
It happens that I'm in depression and then I have to go out for some work, and when I sit in rickshaw I remember my old days and I recall it when I used to go to meet my girlfriend in a rickshaw holding a cigarette in my hand, and I used to smoke it alone. So I recall these things and I just feel good.
It's a time to relax. Because when I'm walking, I cannot work. I'm not looking at my computer. I'm not looking at the mobile. It's the time for me.
For contemplation time, buses, cars, even the bike makes you to go along the rhythm of the town, and I like to take my own rhythm, and walking is a way to do it. And for me, the tempo, to keep my own tempo, beside or around or along the time of the city is very important, because otherwise the city swallows you,
I'm in some other fantasy city and it's not even me that's walking.
This is the best time of the day, really.
You go really relaxed, you go walking.
It's like a meditation, and I just like to feel my body.
just being with myself and my breath, and it's just like a kind of meditation for me.
It helps me to finish my job in my mind because
it sort of disconnects you from the thought and calms you down, because it sort of prepares me for the next task.
It's a time to feel things more, because my only thoughts are really where I'm going to go, but when I am open to the surroundings, I get sort of an impression of the environment.
If I would go and put it in a pathetic phrase, I would say it's a kind of a meditation.
It's a really good transition. That's what I like about being on my bike. I'm exercising and it's relaxing at the same time, and it makes me more focused somehow. I'm in my own world when I'm on the bike.
And I feel much more safe, so I can be in my own world. And
this is like, I'm absorbed.
When I cannot solve a problem in daily life, I especially solve the problem when I'm biking, because I am thinking best when I am biking.
And if some question just I cannot figure out, so I just walking and I should figure out the question out.
It really stimulates creative thinking, and I really enjoy it. The more I walk, the better I feel, and the funnier it gets.
There is a lot of people, but when I'm thinking and focus on myself, I feel like I am alone in this bus.
When I'm at school or when I'm at home, I'm always talking to other people, and it feels like you don't have a minute for yourself. But those short sojourns on like the metro is just times to really just like go into your head.
I'm thinking what I will do in war, what I doing in my future.
Something that you don't think at home, something that you don't think in food store, for example, something that you don't think about when you are working. These questions are much more global.
I wonder all the time about everything, my family, my friends, girls, politics, economy, work, everything.
Je réfléchis de mes études, de ce que je veux faire, de ce que je veux faire à la maison, donc c'est un moment pour moi.
Think about my business.
What will I eat tonight?
Yeah, think about my whole life. Yeah, that's why I like to go away walk.
I think my work, my life, my family member.
Something about me or about my family, about life.
In the tram, I like this noise. Maybe it's noisy, but I like it. For example, in trains, I like trains because I don't like when it's noisy and can't sleep, but in train, I sleep like a child.
I remember the sound from my childhood.
Because they scratching, they making noise from my childhood. I like it.
But I like also the sound of the men who announce the stops. I always like to imagine as if I pronounce it, so I pronounce all the stops like.
There's a place I've never been to called Kasula, and I just love it so much. I've never been to it, but I love the way that the train manager announces, this train goes to blah, 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 and then says Kasula, and she says it in such an interesting way that the place has always been an attraction to me, even though I've never been there, and I probably never will. But Kasula has a special place in my mind because of City Rail.
That's forbidden in German, but I love it. I love to bike with loud music. So I have my earplugs in and I listen to really weird stuff. And that is really entertaining because you're just like absorbed from the entire city, which is really dangerous, I know, but it's a lot of fun.
No, I listen to music always, and dancing and singing on the car.
Yeah, sometimes I feel good when I study, like playing the steering wheel, the beat and everything.
Any music, any matatu which has a music, more people are being attracted by the music. So
most of the matatus have music. Yeah, so when you're inside the matatu, you feel relaxed.
Maybe that's a kind of a music which you love or you like. So it makes also you to move your bones.
Even I like Christian music.
I listen to reggae music.
Reggae and the bongo. Do you know bongo? It's a Tanzanian music, kind of music, yeah. Swahili music.
I listen flamenco while I go to the work.
I'm a rock guy. I love soft rock. Coldplay.
deep and dark techno.
But I particularly enjoy rap music.
I like some kind of noisy music because on the bus it's not noisy, but still it better put some music which is loud.
After work, I usually listen metal music or rock music, something hard. Because you want to scream to the people in the traffic or you want to do some action, but you cannot do it. You're stuck in the traffic, so they are screaming instead of me in the music.
It's like a video clip sometimes with the music, and you see situations or people.
Many impressions. For me, it's like to come down after work, mostly with music. So I can see different scenarios and hear music, and it's really inspiring sometimes.
I'm like in bubble of vacuum, so I can't feel what's going on around, and I stop to listen to the music. When I'm walking out the streets and when I listen that sound, it makes me feel some mystery, some kind of feeling that you realize that all this world is on the edge of the end of time.
I once talked with a black guy. He asked me, do you think our lives is passing by underground? We don't see what is around us. We spend a lot of time underground, and sometimes it's really hard because he was from Nigeria, maybe, and I was saying that it was really sad when you don't talk to people and it's always underground and not look at the nature. And yeah, it was sad, and I was realized that yeah, he was right. Like, yeah, I spent a lot of time underground, and I would love to see my city, to know it better.
St. Petersburg metro, it's like a museum style. But if you have some time and you don't want to pass underground, maybe it's better to travel on the earth and see.
I think that our city is very beautiful. It is interesting to go not by metro, but by bus, by tram, and look on buildings, on historical places of our city.
Sit in front at the top of the bus and just watch the street from this different angle.
I like actually to look at other people's apartments. I'm really into the Berlin Altbau houses and I love stucco, which is on the ceiling. So I always check houses if they have stucco in their rooms or not.
That's the reason why I can't drive a car, because I always looking around and notice some interesting stuff. And
where the sun is standing, how high, because I travel there actually at the same time every day, and so I can watch how the sun goes over the time.
Sunsets are always beautiful because there are beautiful colors and they are mirrored everywhere, so I love it.
The people on the road and the beautiful scene of our city.
Because Madrid is very beautiful, and it's great to see your city when you're on bus.
Because when you're matatu, things just pass in a flash, like very fast. Very hard to take a glimpse. just like a snap, like it happens very fast. But when you're walking, you can pause, look around, see who's next to you.
I have more time to look at things and notice things that I wouldn't notice otherwise.
Walking, it's the best place to feel the city.
Then you start enjoying what you're seeing, as the people, the animals, the trees, the houses, the architecture.
I like to look upper views and the buildings, and this is very beautiful.
I take even longer because I take other streets just to know and to explore a little more.
I see lots of beautiful things. Well, my speed is not so high. I have time to see things and.
To see the maybe people passing or seeing something new coffee or new restaurant or something.
Just only concentrate on shopping. What was new arriving in the market?
See how the city changes, how people are walking around, how the light changes throughout the day. It's beautiful in the morning, it's beautiful in the midday, and then it's beautiful in the evening.
At night, it's usually quiet, and there light design and trees, all the environment, it looks pretty well.
I love the atmosphere there, especially at night when you are alone in this tram. It's only you and the woman that checks the tickets. It's super romantic.
And when I realized that I'm looking at the floor, I say, no, I don't have the solution in the floor. So I look around and I find a lot of people, and I like to look them and observe them and feel their lives.
You're not able to watch the city, but I look around the people more.
We can look at each other and yes, to ice sometimes.
It's like people are facing each other on the subways. So like whenever you're there and you're not listening to music, you're forced to at least look at someone in the eye.
How they move, or maybe they are talking with their phone or talking to other people, and sometimes I have a little feeling he or she could be like this or that, and it's like a little story.
Sometimes we, even with my boyfriend, we play such a game. We try to guess what is their profession, like
what these people were doing, where they were going, what kind of life they had.
How they interact, how they act when they're alone.
The way they are thinking about themselves, the way they're looking their hands.
We can see the ordinary people, and all their problems are on their faces, really.
Watching for faces of other people, it's very interesting. They thinking about their lives.
I tend to look how people dresses, actually. Yeah, it's funny. Old people, young people, how people, the outfits, how everybody thinks, how they prove themselves, how they show.
Fashion also, I'm into fashion so much. Nice to see how people are dressed up. So I like walking a lot.
I enjoy them, how they walk, their style.
Everything is our life. It reflects us a lot. Like the way a girl ride a motorbike, what is her characteristic. A little bit, like a gentle or adventurous. compared to a girl inside a car and on a motorbike. I can look at her. I see her feeling, I see her facial expression, I see how she reacts.
Some people very take care about the appearance. For example, when they ride a very expensive motorbike, they will think that, wow, I should take on very beautiful dress, very luxury jewelries.
I mean, it's not that I wear like this because I'm going with the motorbike. It's I wear like this because I'm like that.
I normally don't think about how I look on the bike. I don't really think about my image at all when I walk.
I think that the clothes is enough comfortable for me to ride.
If I don't want to get dirty my clothes, I just to take care, or I don't want to sweat a lot, so I'm going slowly. But I'm not changing my style of clothes or my style of life for the bike. It's the opposite way. I use just my bike for method of transport.
And this rickshawala was staring at each and every girl who's present on the road. So I started talking to him. Kya bhaiya? What is happening? Tell me. Are you married and all? So he was just happy to look at the girls.
Yeah, I like to look at beautiful women.
I just want to look at some beautiful ladies. Is that good?
You know that when very beautiful girl rides a motorbike, she can make the people look at her and they will not concentrate on riding. But I don't want that.
If any guy who can ride a motorbike at that time, that means he was very rich. And also, I think because he was very rich, so he must be very attractive.
I find riding a bike more personal than riding a car. I feel more connected to the surrounding. I like traveling on my bike because once you're on the bike, you can see around, and it's like experiencing what is around you.
I feel myself when I'm cycling or hitchhiking. I feel free and I feel myself alive. The smell of the flowers, the smell of the people, thoughts of the people, the understanding, contacting. This is the point.
Don't you not feel the pleasure? One side, beautiful gardens are there, flowers are there, sea is there, and you are riding, you become child and you enjoy like anything.
I go everywhere with the roller skates.
It's fun to be in a matatu. You should try it. It's really fun.
It's a good feeling, biking on a city.
Well, it makes me happy. That's incredible. It's almost every day I'm happy to sit on the motorbike.
It gives me happiness, and it's like I'm doing something adventurous.
Always running and waving, and I'm very expressive. But I get on the train, so I feel for me it's kind of a story. Sometimes it's exciting, especially when you get in the train. You feel as if you've done something.
Nowadays we are in a new generation, and this generation everything is quick. If you don't run, you may fall down, and if you fall down, you enter in the bottom of the car. Yeah, that's the scary how it is.
I like that. now and then. It's really fun. Makes me feel like I'm quite flexible, but on a limited kind of speed. You don't just run to anything.
I like speed driving.
And I'm an adventurous kind of guy. I like to do some thrill.
In some situations, it's very nice just to make this boom and leave everyone behind you. I like it.
And then you're seeing the visuals, it's like penetrating and like going like, it's a different kind of feeling altogether.
En moto, c'est tu te sens en train de voler un petit peu.
Just the wind touching you, and you feel freedom and faster than the car, so it's cool.
I like the air, and I like to feel the breeze on my face. Yeah, and I don't like the ACs in the car. I feel suffocated with that. So I prefer my two-wheeler any day over the. It has more, you can say, flexibility.
Very free when I ride because I'm in the fresh air.
I am very free. Let the sun in.
Most of the time, my bike makes me feel independent because I can come and leave whenever I want to.
Simply, I don't depend on anybody else. I just get into my car and drive wherever I want. I know half an hour later I'm there, and so it gives me some liberty.
This was freedom for me, and it totally changed. Now freedom for me is doing the subway and the Vespa. And terrible is it to drive the car. I thought car driving is freedom, but it's not. It's the opposite.
I feel like the city is a wave that I can ride, and the motion of like weaving in and out. I feel like it's, you learn to read it like you learn to read waves when you're a surfer.
And I'm cycling faster, and I just go in the middle of the car faster than them. And sometimes I say, almost the mirror hit on my hands or with my handlebar over. So it's a little bit we love danger.
When I do rash driving, when I take risks, and sometimes I ride faster than the bikes when the traffic is really, heavy and they're not moving, and we have a small little bicycle. You can.
Especially when you find the street empty. I mean, you go in a motorcycle on championship or something. Yes, it's a good, special feeling.
I have a pretty old bicycle, and I don't think that it's physically allowed to ride really fast, but I ride it as fast as I can.
Like everyone here is super fast on their bikes. Like they're speeding all the time. Like everybody's trying to go from the one place to the other super fast. So.
Always listening yourself, and you relax on the bike and make good sport and traveling at the same time.
So generally I'm always in a cycle because Pune is actually a cycle city. It is the only city which is very comfortable almost all 11 months, except little bit hot in April.
But nowadays it's a rainy season, so it's good to ride bike.
I love riding in the rain. It's uncomfortable, it's terribly uncomfortable, but I mean, if you are sitting in a car and traveling in the rain, it's beautiful because you yourself don't get wet. But I like getting wet, I like traveling in rains. I sometimes ignore the rule and I don't wear my helmet in rain so that I can get totally drenched in it. I know it's not right, but still I love doing it. And it's just amazing. And
then the bottles also are okay. Anyhow, we are going to get wet,
We want
so
to
don't
get
care.
wet. That is why we go on bike.
That's why.
To go whenever you want to. And even if it rains, just get a raincoat.
I think that I'm very sociable, and I need to be around the people and I felt alone in my car.
There's always a collective conversation happening around that, oh fuck, what is happening, what is he doing, what is he doing. You're always so much aware of the surroundings, what is happening.
When we stop together in the traffic lights or in the cross, always we look at each other, and sometimes if we have time we speak about nice day, a lot of traffic, or this bike is beautiful, where did you get, or where are you going, or where.
I like friendship and networking. That is why when I find somebody who is friend in the matatu, we can talk. I ask where you come from, where are you working, because in Kenya there is so many problems with job. So through that person, you can get a job. Or if it's not working in good company, I can connect to my where I'm working. So through that, we can assist each other.
We talk about the problems that we find, about the means of transportation. We talk about anything, the problems of the society, the Moroccan society, anything actually. Even though it sounds exciting.
And sometimes I need to talk to feel relaxed. And in the bus, I meet someone and I speak to feel relaxed.
Speaking with the peoples, we cry, try to smile.
I have many friends when I take the bus.
Yes, we normally make friends.
Whenever you go out, you meet someone. Like my friends, usually I meet most of them actually traveling.
I have many friends over here. All of them I introduced or I faced when I am biking.
I sometimes ended up spending the afternoon with the people I met in the metro or the bus. Maybe you won't see them again, or maybe you will. But you enjoy that real time, and that's it.
I met my husband on the bus stop.
Saw a beautiful girl, so I feel interested in her. So I, hello. When you stop, where are you? Where are you going? Now we get your university, and finally after speak for a long time, I hope I want her to give me her number phone.
One boy, he told me he always speak with me in the bus, and sometimes he told me, I want to marry you. I said, sorry, why? We meet just in the bus. We see just 1 hour in the bus. What are you thinking? He told me, no, we see just each other one hour, but I feel like I know you. I meet you in the morning, I meet you in the evening, we come back together, so I know you.
Donc tous les jours, quand je monte au train, je la retrouve en train de dormir. Tu vois, il dort dès le début de trajet jusqu'à la fin. C'est automatique. Donc il dort pendant tout le trajet et il se réveille juste avant la gare où on va descendre. Et ça me faisait plaisir, ça me faisait rire. Donc un jour je lui ai parlé de ça. Comment tu le fais? Donc t'as le temps dans la tête et en dormant. Il m'a dit oui, c'est un peu ça. À force de faire la navette, ça fait plus. Je pense qu'il a maintenant plus de 8 ans de navette. Donc c'est un peu ça. C'est devenu habituel pour elle de dormir 1 heure de train. Donc. Et maintenant il est devenu ma meilleure amie.
In St. Petersburg, for example, metro is a fantastic place for meeting people.
Time I meet someone I know, it's always fun, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? And nice to see you here.
I saw my friend that I hadn't seen like for 10 years from my hometown, and we just met.
Yeah, have a good talk with friends on the bus. It's good. It's a good experience.
Either she talks to me, we talk to each other, or then we listen to some common music that we like. So yeah, it's a good time to spend with the family.
Basically talk a lot, and we talk a lot on the rides as well.
Sometimes when I drive and my friend talks, there's some stories funny when I drive, and we often laugh. We get a big laugh on the street?
Sometimes, yeah, my daughter or my son, I'm sitting with them. And I prefer not to be talking to them also because it does divert. Yeah, but I do find that the younger generation prefers to keep talking while they're driving, which I don't think is advisable.
We shared a bike and we did it alternate days. One day I would go on his bike, the other day he would come with me on my bike. We rode 12 kilometers in a day together. At that time we shared a lot.
Because when you're at work, you cannot speak. So when you have to when you don't have time, you just have the commuting time to speak to someone. So that's really important. And
when I used the bicycle, I used to go with my daughter, and I used to go singing and talking with her, and I love it.
When you ride bicycle, talk with friends, that will make you not tired.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle. And now it's available for everyone. You are going on a ride. Broadcasting moving images by electronics. Boy, this is some picture.
Everyone likes pictures in color.
And I love the atmosphere, of course. When you arrive with a baby, everybody is looking at you, at the baby, of course, and they trying to play with the baby or try to make him smiling. So it's it's really good atmosphere.
Sometimes you can hear the parents and the little children there talking, and that's funny for me.
And there was a conversation that started between an very old girl, quite classy, and a homeless about my baby. And actually both of them were talking together and with the baby, without considering myself, but it was pretty fun.
Old people like to talk to younger people in the public transportation.
A little old man talked to me on the train and started talking to me about Slovenia, of all things. And I told this story to somebody else, and they were like, that same thing happened to me, that exact same person happened to me. And then I told it to somebody else a few months later, and they said the same thing. And then I told it to a fourth person, and he said, that's my grandpa. All he does is take the train all day long and talk to people on the city trains between the city and the western suburbs.
Like when I sit in the rickshaw, when I'm alone with the rickshaw driver, I started talking to him. Where are you from? How many kids are there? Are you married? Things like that.
Discuss the politics as well. Tell you about the people around here and the places to visit and where you can get cheap goods.
That is why I go and talk to them, because I find something interesting in their past, or the way they behave, the way they see things, basically.
Other citizens, other people, other human, other ideas.
When you start to move in Madrid, you go metro station through metro station, and you can't join the points of the city. Then when you move to the bus, it's like everything is connected, and you can know the proper way to arrive to the places, and it's better, and it's more beautiful.
Still, I'm trying to understand this city. But this kind of exploration is only possible by your feet or by bicycle.
I think the walking is the best way to know the city. Especially you lost your way.
and you should find your way out. And that's the best, to university.
It's my first summer with a bike, and it's great what experiences I do, because it was very fast for me to get connections in my head about the places and how close they are, and my orientation was better and better.
You go from one part of the city to the other, and you've got these stations and the landmarks passing by. Gives you a good feeling. It's a vital feeling. Yeah, you're part of something.
Yes, it's part of me. I can call it like my fiance or my wife, because she's always with me. Yes, we go together everywhere.
Always my wife complains, why you going to cycle? You are no old man. I say, who told I'm old? I'm very young.
It's my job. I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. Yeah, it's a good job actually. If you have for everything in the roads, in license, in insurance, you feel good. Sure.
It is how we can get our daily breads. Some young men, they don't have any job. So by the time they get border, they used to enter in that job.
I'm telling you, they are so good. Sometimes they help me, especially the big one. If the seats are full, they have passengers, all of them. A passenger can help me, the big boy. So they are so good.
A few months ago, when I met a certain lady on a matatu, and inside that matatu there was a drunkard person. So this drunkard person, he didn't have money to pay transport. So what happened is that the conductor took him outside the matatu and left him somewhere, and it was really late. So the guys who are the passengers, all the passengers who are in the bus started complaining, no, you cannot leave that guy there. If he doesn't have money to pay transport, we can do it. So we took the guy inside the bus, and then after that we started discussing. The lady asked me some funny questions.
When you're in trouble with maybe accident situation, they stop and ask, can I help you? Or they just help you.
The locals who would actually get down and try to maneuver the traffic so that it eases out instead of being stuck there for 2-3 hours.
We have this as a tradition that, the young people, if some old people come to the bus.
In Russia, we ought to give your seat if you sit and they don't.
So I give my seat for them. Yeah. So in Vietnam, it's our, custom.
When I see people do that, give their seat to the old people, I always feel really happy about that.
And I remember there was a woman who just got up and just let her place, and she directly, she turned herself to everybody, and she started saying, this girl is pregnant, and everybody should get up and say, please girl, sit down, you should, because everybody was started interacting and say something. And
I was waiting at the bus station for probably half an hour, 45 minutes, because every bus was coming full of people. And I was waiting a bus with enough space to put my pram and just have a space for my baby and the bags I was carrying. Probably the 8th or the 9th or I don't know, the 11th bus pass just asked me to fold the pram and carry my baby because it was too full. And I said, well, let's try. And I was carrying 4 bags. So I tried to carry the bag, hold my baby, and fold this. I desist. I said, no, sorry, you know what? I'm not going to anywhere. I'm going home. I'm not doing this. And a couple just come to me and say, look, woman, if you want to go, you should go. And one folded the pram, the other one took my baby, and another 2 people just carried the bags. So everyone put everything into the bus. Someone inside the bus just gave me the seat to sit with the baby. So it was so surprising for me that everyone just decided to work in a positive way. They don't even ask me where I was going. They just say, this woman want to go, and she decides because she's by herself. No, let's everyone help.
No, as passengers, we do cooperate. We like one another. We love one another as passengers because we are all in one level of life.
If you have a car, you are quite rich and you have a happy life. So everybody have a car to show off.
I lived in New York for a while. I think it's quite different because in New York people, the conception of a car is different there. They say if you don't use a car, you're more respected because you respect the environment, you respect traffic, you avoid the traffic jam. You're here in Casablanca, having a car is a good thing.
To show their social status, to show the people like, hey, I can afford to buy a car.
It's strict rule, you know? They don't use metro, but I absolutely cannot understand them.
I'm a student, so it's part of my whole life, taking public transport and going from here to there, taking it, so it's part of me.
Sometimes I feel like I are at home because you spend a lot of time in the public transport.
On the bike, you can really get a good picture of the changes. When I'm on my bike, I can always see like, oh, there's a new shop or somebody's moving in or somebody's moving out. But at the same time, sometimes when I get out of my house after a long time using my bike and I walk for the first time, it feels so different. It feels more connected to the people.
I've come to learn the faces of the people that live near me. I meet them every day.
You many times cross the same people. You recognize each other, all the time. Yeah, absolutely.
Because usually I take the same bus, so I meet the same faces because they work near of my work. Maybe I know everyone about the story in work, in his life, in the family, and you know me too. It's normal, baby. Like family.
You catch the bus twice a week. It's more you are more connected with people, and yeah, I think it's great when you see someone that you don't know but you see very often, and it's like it's familiar to you. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's great and it's weird at the same time, and I like it because I feel connected with people.
I think using public transportation is, in general, feeling people very close to you. I mean, you can feel that you are a part of a community by using public transportation. If I all the time, for example, drive my car, my private car, I feel different. I can guess. And I know from the other people who drive their own cars. And since I'm using public transportation, I'm more involved in everyday life in the city, I can say. I can see very different kind of people that I cannot meet, for example, at my job or at home or at school, I don't know. And that's an important thing, I can say.
Think about what kind of emotions like they are going through, the kind of connection that I always see between two people. The kind of connections they have, I see that more than the story or more than the event. It's like more very it's so beautiful. Like you see connection between the people and then you see the whole connections going around and how this whole circle of life is going on, and it is so beautiful. It's so really beautiful.
To stay with people, even when you are separate from them in the city, you are surrounded by people, but at the same time in your own loneliness.
We are together, although we don't know each other really.
culture. It's a culture more than a transport. It's a way of life.